Good afternoon. I'm speaking to you today from Buffalo, New York. It's Saturday, February 9th, and I just want to share with you some of my upcoming plans for my trip to Rome, Italy. In my sworn testimony before the 40th Pennsylvania Grand Jury, I provided the names of 117 individuals who were either directly involved in the sexual abuse of children or vulnerable adults, provided cover for such activities, or could speak to such as witnesses. I will be in Rome during Pope Francis's meeting with the Council of Bishops' Conferences. All the presidents of the bishops' conferences from around the world will be gathering in Rome from February 21st through the 24th. And I intend to be there to stand in solidarity with victims and their advocates. I intend to be on hand to respond to events and revelations as they unfold, and to share more of my public testimony. I will carry with me the images and stories of victims who have suffered the tragedy of clergy sex abuse and its cover-up by bishops. Any of you who've ever attended a Catholic funeral has seen the little holy cards that they give out at funerals. And I carry a stack of these with me, not literally carry, but I keep them handy. Most of them are from the funerals that I had over the years as a priest, and some of them are my family. My mother's, obviously, I carry with me. I want to suggest to anybody who will be following the events in Rome or not, maybe it'd be too difficult to pay attention to some of it, but I'd like to carry the images of our fellow victims, brothers and sisters, with me as I go, particularly those who we have lost to this tragedy. I intend to be visiting a fair share of churches, and will feel compelled certainly to pray at the major basilicas and other churches that I'm certain to be in along the way. And so I not just carry my own experience, but I'd like to carry the hopes and aspirations and grief and the grief and even anxiety of, to borrow a phrase from Vatican II, send me a direct image of somebody you've lost to this, or a picture of what you have lost to this yourself. And if you direct message that to me, I will be sure to print it and carry it with me as I visit in Rome and undertake the work that I'm going there to accomplish. This past August, I wrote a letter to Pope Francis on behalf of myself, Mark Rossi, the PA State Representative, and former District Attorney of Philadelphia, Lynn Abraham. We were seeking an audience from Pope Francis. Our letter can be found in the photos section right here on my Facebook, and I had released these to the public last fall. Needless to say, Pope Francis ignored us. Specifically, he ignored 3 allegations, which I included in my portion of that letter. Since August then, I have anticipated a trip to Rome, although now the circumstances have significantly changed. The statute of limitation reform that we all work for and hope for is now unfolding in more state legislatures. This legislation, to my mind, will be more likely to pass if we recognize one thing going into these meetings in Rome. Zero tolerance is the focus of the upcoming meeting between Pope Francis and the heads of all the world's bishops' conferences. The focus is to be zero tolerance. Whether that's the reality in the Vatican or not, but certainly because we, as the survivors, will make it so. The reconstitution of victims' lives requires that we hold the bishops accountable for the present cover-up. It's not that we simply seek restitution or redress or the reconstitution of our own lives, but it's important for us, in a certain sense, to hold the bishops' feet to the fire. And I think our legislation, particularly in Pennsylvania, will be that much more likely, as I believe it will be in other places. If zero tolerance for bishops who cover up abuse, zero tolerance is not only an ally of statutory reform, but it is the one universal, legitimate expectation which would cause a cascade of every other type of reform on this issue. Until the bishops are constrained by independent external oversight and reporting, statute of limitations reform will have an uphill battle. Thank God it happened here in New York State. I pray and hope that it happens soon in Pennsylvania and in New Jersey. But if we really insist on independent external oversight and reporting, then when we really demand our right to zero tolerance of any bishop who covers up, even if that's the Bishop of Rome, if that is our strategy moving into these meetings in Rome, I think it's the heart of the issue, and every other front in this battle seems to hinge on that issue. I want to say another thing, that in case you've noticed, here in the U.S., multiple states now have forced the release of perpetrators' names. Pennsylvania, Illinois, for example. And some dioceses have taken steps toward fuller lists of names. Same with the Jesuits, who recently, too, have given a fuller accounting of their perpetrator priests. But make no mistake, as the U.S. bishops sweep the deck in the days before the Rome meetings, they are attempting to get ahead of the actual news that they expect to come out of Rome, which I think most people expect and hope, at least within the hierarchy, that there will be very little news. Our expectations have been downplayed. Our anticipation of real reform and concrete and sustained and immediate reform, we've been told not to expect it. Pope Francis himself, just the other day, says this is a human issue that we will always have with us. So, aim high. Make no mistake. The bishops will say that they want zero tolerance for priests, and in some cases I think they might even mean it, but never for themselves. Better to look good now, better to sweep the deck and throw out some names so that we can make Pope Francis look worse in a few weeks. I think that's what the U.S. bishops are thinking right now. Because you don't hear them talking about zero tolerance for their own association. They're just talking about this as a past and historical problem. a human issue, right? That's what we keep hearing. While I'm in Rome, I anticipate releasing press materials as appropriate and responding to future revelations, perhaps as they trickle out. And I wanted to just say more than anything, thank you to my benefactors, so to speak, who believe in what I'm attempting to do and have helped to underwrite this trip. I'm grateful. And so, alongside everything else that I want to highlight and underline, I would be lying if I didn't say, yes, I'm also going for the pasta. And looking forward to seeing fellow survivors and advocates and meeting all kinds of friends for the first time. So be well. If there's anybody you want me to remember and carry with me as I travel to Rome and around Rome, send me their image by direct message and maybe a little description about them. Thanks, and God bless.